finished reading Burmese Days. Not sure if I'm going to write something in full on it. I kind of have two halves of a whole thing put together for it. Let me just grab my other notebook real quick. Also, I finally put my own shit on there. It's no longer my siblings' trophies. So that's cool. But yeah, I finished Burmese Days, and yeah, I got a pretty good. I also made a little cool drawing right there. But yeah, I finished Burmese Days, and I have some thoughts on it. Whether it's gonna turn into something or not, I don't know. I really don't know how that will fit in for that, if it can fit into these things, but I feel like it might be able to, but I feel like it might be a point that's, well, actually, I guess it sort of revives an older point from, I think third one? I forget which one, but one of the first ones, where it's like, the first one where I start talking about muses and stuff and Carl Jung's ideas about them being conduits to our own unconscious. Because, as seen with this movie, I mean, not movie, but book, John Flory's finale in Burmese Days, this is what I wrote so far, is the result of what in Festivus is called an airing of grievances on the sitcom Seinfeld. You're only as sick as the secrets within, as goes the sobriety slogan, but with desire, quote, it's not so evil as much as it's hungry, unquote. It's empty in envy. All the bits of his person laid out for what he sees as a final bastion to that late life he supposedly once led. He was dead shortly after it left his head. The climax of the book is not actually, so there's a giant riot that gets instilled by the local magistrate to try and frame Dr. Verswamy, John Flory's friend. And so in that, however, John Flory came out the hero of that instance, and Verswamy, being his friend, got his name cleared and stuff, because he was friends with the Englishman. And however, none of that matters because Upoyakin, the local magistrate, the crocodile, finds the right spot, Mahalame. So in Mahalame's wreck, as a result of being cast aside by Flory for Elizabeth, Upoyakin eggs her on, it's implied, and right as they're in the middle of this funeral for a murdered white young white soldier or something, I forget what exactly it is currently, because I'm just talking. But anyway, as soon as that happens, she bursts in at that church service, and she's yelling in Burmese, but which Elizabeth doesn't understand. But the gist of it is clear. John Flory had her as his concubine and used her until Elizabeth came around. Elizabeth being a not very into that sort of thing, ultimately decided against Flory, as if, and for the whole story, a lot of John Flory's obsession with Elizabeth is very much his own doing, because Flory lived listlessly and died as a result of opting to try tipping scales when the weight swung the pendulum away. He waited too late, and frankly, I don't think he did anything that could have been done. It wasn't, Elizabeth wasn't anything more for Flory than a conduit for his own pathetically picked path, a conceptualized crutch, not a reliable aid, more so a last-ditch effort projected onto a flat affect that really couldn't give a fuck about him. And culminating with that, he shoots himself and a dog. The dog's the real sad part of this tale.